digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
BBC News at 8 o'clock on Sunday the 19th of July. Good morning, this is James Kelly. Boris Johnson has compared the prospect of a second national lockdown to Britain's nuclear deterrent, but says he wouldn't want to impose it. The Scottish First Minister has been urged to rule out blanket quarantine measures for visitors from other parts of the UK. England face a race against time to level the series against the West Indies. Boris Johnson has said he would be extremely reluctant to impose another nationwide lockdown if there was a second spike of coronavirus this winter. In an interview with the Sunday Telegraph, the Prime Minister says he wouldn't want to take such drastic action again, but he believes it won't be necessary. Here's our political correspondent, Nick Eardley.
After the huge economic cost of the lockdown, ministers want to do everything they can to avoid a second national shutdown. The Prime Minister says the option is like a nuclear deterrent. He can't abandon it, but nor does he want to use it. Boris Johnson believes the government is now in a position where it can isolate local outbreaks, having given new powers to local authorities to shut down premises, and can avoid the need for blanket restrictions across England. On Friday, the Chief Scientific Advisor, Sir Patrick Vallance, warned that winter would bring new challenges, and that could mean more national measures.
The leader of the Scottish Liberal Democrats has called on the First Minister to rule out blanket quarantine measures for visitors from other parts of the UK. In a letter to Nicola Sturgeon, Willie Rennie said the prospect was making people cancel their travel plans unnecessarily. The Scottish Government said it would consider any measures that helped keep the virus in check. Here's Alexandra Mackenzie.
The First Minister initially said last month that there was no immediate plan to quarantine people arriving from the rest of the UK, but said she needed to ensure the virus was not brought into Scotland from elsewhere. The leader of the Scottish Liberal Democrats said this fuelled unhelpful speculation, and visitors from England had cancelled thousands of pounds worth of bookings. Willie Rennie has asked the First Minister to make it clear that a nationwide quarantine of people from the rest of the UK will not happen.
A study has found that profit warnings issued by leading UK businesses listed on the London Stock Exchange during the first half of this year were at record levels. A third of the 350 companies have said they don't expect to make as much money as expected, mainly because of the impact of COVID-19. The research by City Analysts EY found that most warnings were posted by companies in the travel, hospitality and retail sectors. The DJ Annie Nightingale has revealed that she knew about John Lennon and Yoko Ono's relationship before it was made public, but didn't report the story for fear of losing the Beatles' trust. The couple met in 1966 when John Lennon was still married to his first wife, Cynthia. The broadcaster, the first female presenter on Radio 1, was a regular guest at the band's Apple Studios in London in the 1960s. Speaking on Desert Island Discs on Radio 4, she said she was worried about what might happen.
I knew about John and Yoko before it was announced and had a newspaper column, and this was hugely big news at the time. And I thought, well, I'm not going to say anything. I won't break their trust. But if that story breaks, then they'll think, oh, it's your fault. And it wasn't. So when they did go public, it was a great relief because sometimes, it's not good to be in the right place at the right time.
And you can hear Annie Nightingale's Desert Island Discs on Radio 4 at 11 o'clock this morning or later on BBC Sounds. England's cricketers will face a race against time in their efforts to level their Test series against the West Indies after rain wiped out the third day of the second Test at Old Trafford. The tourists will resume their first innings on 32 for 1 in reply to England's 469 for 9 declared. At a disciplinary hearing last night, Jofra Archer was fined and given a written warning for breaching biosecure protocols. More from Jonathan Agnew.
England's options have been seriously reduced after yesterday's washout. Their best chance of winning seems to be to bowl West Indies out for under 270 and force the follow-on and do it again. If the visitors do avoid the follow-on, though, it's difficult to see England having enough time to bat again and then roll them over on the final afternoon to level the series. The disciplinary action against Archer seems to be appropriate and measured. Shut in his hotel room for 5 days is a gruelling experience, and the lack of exercise might well count against him for selection for the final Test starting on Friday.
Jonathan Agnew. In the weather, early rain across southern and eastern England will clear all, but the far southeast to leave a cloudy day. Much of the rest of the UK will have plenty of sunshine, but there'll be showers for the north and west of Scotland. Top temperatures of 17 Celsius for Edinburgh and Belfast, 21 for Cardiff and 19 for London. And that's the BBC News at 8:05.
Across the UK.
This is BBC 5 Live, Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning, Sunday Breakfast.